Today we are going to talk in this video which is from chapter 3, process costing, and in this chapter we're going to talk about EUP, or equivalent unit of production. I have selected an exercise EM 3-20 from your book. And in this problem, Collins Company has the following data from their assembly department. Keep in mind that we have talked about in the previous lecture 3 kinds of inventory: materials, work in process, and finished goods. So the idea of equivalent unit of production only applies to the work in process inventory, because as you know, in materials all the parts or all the material is available in its raw form, and on the assembly line we assembled everything, or we made everything together in order to prepare a completed product, and when a product is completed, is moved from the assembly line to the finished good warehouse. So in this example, they are telling us that the unit in process at the beginning of August was 900. It means on August 1st in the morning, when the crew came on the assembly line, there were 900 incomplete units. Then during the month, they add 200,000 more units, means they brought from the material departments enough raw material, enough spare parts to produce 2,000 units of that product. And during the month, 2,100 units were shifted from the assembly line to the finished good in a warehouse. And at the end, there were 800 incomplete units. So these were incomplete in the beginning, and they are in the end incomplete. And these 2,100 were completed and transferred out because they were completed. Okay. And when we are talking about completed, they were 100% complete. Okay. They are saying conversion costs are added evenly throughout the period. So what is the conversion cost? We have already discussed. Conversion cost is the direct labor plus the manufacturing overhead. So they were added during throughout. Evenly means at every step they were add equal amount of. So if, for example, if a product is 20% completed, that means that conversion cost was added 20%, whatever the conversion cost. The company uses the weighted average method, compute the equivalent units of production for direct material and conversion cost. We know that when we were studying cost, there were 3 things that we talk about: direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. So these were the 3 things that we have. And direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead is the conversion cost. So we're going to talk about. And for each of the independent scenarios, so these 4 scenarios that are given to you at the bottom, they are independent to each other, means we have to solve these 4 scenarios. I mean, they are not mutually exclusive. Okay. So units in process at the end of August are 20% complete. Material are added at the beginning of the process. Every time when you're going to see this statement, materials are added at the beginning of the process, which means 100% of material were added at the material, 100% of the material were added at the beginning. So means no other material was added. Just like over here, it says that the conversion cost added evenly throughout the process, which means every day or every hour they added the cost, the conversion cost, direct labor or direct or manufacturing overhead, but they put the material on the table, 100% of it at the beginning of the process. So when we look at it, says the units in process at the end of August are 20%. So how many we have at the end of August is 800. 800 units. It has there are two costs, conversion cost and direct material. We know that the conversion cost was evenly, but they are 20% complete. So that means they are completed 20% for the conversion cost, but they are 100% complete for direct material. That means if we multiply 800 with 20%, we get 160 equivalent unit of production. And if we multiply 800 with 100%, we have 800 equivalent units of production. So what we are saying these 800 units that are available at the end of August, they are 100% complete for equivalent unit production, which means we do not have to add any more material or any more spare parts. However, they are only 20% complete for the conversion cost, therefore they are equivalent to 160 equivalent units of production. Okay. In the second part, it says unit in process at the end of August are 80% complete. Materials are added at the beginning of the process. Now they are saying the unit in process at the end, this 800 process again. So that was scenario number 1. In scenario number 2, we again have 800 units, but this time they are completed for conversion cost 80%, and for direct material they are 100%. So how many? 800 multiplied by 80%, it will be 640 equivalent units of production. And of course 800 multiplied by 100%, they are 800 equivalent units of production. In scenario number 3, it says unit in process at the August are 20% complete. Material are added at the end of the process. So unit in process again at the end of August are 20% complete. So 800 units are 20% complete. Material are added at the end of the process. So that means conversion cost is 20%, but the direct material, since they are added at the end of the process, so they are 0%. So that means in this case, these are 160 equivalent units of production, because 800 multiplied by 20%, 160. And for direct material, 800 multiplied by 0 is 0 equivalent unit, because we are going to add all the material at the end of the process. In number 4, it says unit in process at the end of August are 80% complete. Materials are added at the halfway point, right? At the so in units in process at the end of August are 80% complete. Materials are added at the halfway point, means they are added at the halfway point, but they are 80% complete. So if I draw a line and it says this is 0 and this is 100 and this 50 is a halfway mark. So they are completed 80%. So that means the materials are added 100% of them. So we have 800 units and the conversion cost is 80%. So it's 160 equivalent, 640, 800 multiplied by 80%. And this one direct material was added at halfway mark. We have already moved from halfway mark, so that means they are 100% completed. So they are 800 equivalent units of production. Okay. Please let me know if you have any question, because this chapter has a continuation from chapter 1 and 2. You will see some of the formulas and the question related to chapter 1 and 2. However, In this particular question, this concept of equivalent units of production was new. That's why I have solved a problem for this one. And I have provided the solution manual for all of these problems, so you can always look at it. But I just thought if I add an explanation to it, it would be easier for you to understand. Thank you.